E.A. Hanks, daughter of actor Tom Hanks and his first wife Susan Dillingham, is sharing personal memories about her childhood in her new memoir, The 10, a memoir of family and the open road. In the book, she describes her early years as being filled with deprivation, confusion, and violence, especially during the time she lived with her mother.
For more content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel.
E.A., whose full name is Elizabeth Ann Hanks, is now 42 years old. Her parents, Tom and Susan, met in the 1970s while they were both students studying theater at Sacramento State University. They had 2 children together, E.A. and her older brother, Colin Hanks, who is now 47. The couple divorced in 1985, and from that point on, E.A. and her brother lived between Sacramento and Los Angeles, spending time with both parents. After the divorce, Tom Hanks went on to marry actress Rita Wilson, and they had 2 more children. E.A. describes that part of her life in the memoir as a time of transition. She would visit her father, her stepmother Rita, and her younger half-brothers on weekends and during summer breaks. But her main home was with her mother in Sacramento, and that is where things began to take a troubling turn. Life in Sacramento, what E.A. remembers. In an excerpt published by People magazine on April 4th, E.A. says, "I am a kid from the first non-famous marriage. I was born in Burbank, but after my parents split up, my mother took my older brother and me to live in Sacramento. I have few memories of the early years in Los Angeles." She goes on to say, "Eventually, a divorce agreement was settled, and I would visit my dad and stepmother and soon enough my younger half-brothers on the weekends and during summers. But from age 5 to 14, filled with confusion, violence, deprivation, and love, I was a Sacramento girl." She remembers that as time passed, the condition of their home worsened. The backyard became so full of dog waste that it was difficult to walk through it. The house had a strong smell of smoke. The refrigerator was often empty or full of food that had gone bad. Her mother, she says, spent most of her time in her bedroom reading the Bible alone. Then, one night, things became even more serious, when emotional pain turned physical. E.A. writes that her mother's emotional behavior eventually crossed a line. One night, her emotional violence became physical violence, and in the aftermath, I moved to Los Angeles right smack in the middle of 7th grade. It was during this time, at age 14, that E.A. and her mother took a road trip across the country. They drove from Los Angeles to Florida, following the path of Interstate 10. That trip became a major part of the story she tells in her book. Later in the memoir, E.A. shares a moment from her senior year of high school. That's when her mother called her and told her she was dying. Although her mother was never formally diagnosed, E.A. believes she may have lived with bipolar disorder, which included episodes of paranoia and delusion. Susan Dillingham passed away in 2002 from lung cancer. Why E.A. is telling her story now. E.A.'s memoir, The 10, a memoir of family and the open road, is set to be released on April 8. In it, she shares not only painful memories, but also the journey of growing up between 2 very different worlds, one of fame and comfort with her father, and one of emotional and physical struggle with her mother. E.A. makes it clear that this story is not written out of anger. It's written to be honest. She wants readers to understand the complexity of her childhood and to see the strength it took to move forward.